This is a PowerPoint presentation to explain p block elements in brief and in crisp manner. As you can see in the first visual that the elements of group 15 are tabulated: nitrogen, phosphorus, arsenic, antimony and bismuth. If you will see their electronic configuration, you will find that in nitrogen, number of valence electrons in the outermost orbital is 3 and there are no d orbitals because in second cell d orbitals are not present. In all the elements you will find that the outermost electron has entered into p block and number of valence electrons is equal to 3 if we only see the unpaired electrons. Also in the penultimate shell, that means in the s orbital, there are 2 electrons. In the valence shell itself, total number of valence electrons are equal to 5, but unpaired electrons are 3 in p orbital. That means plus 3 and minus 3 will be a preferred valency or oxidation state, wherein the elements down the group which has high metallic property will show positive valency, and the elements at the top position in the periodic table of group 15 being electronegative and smaller in size will show negative valency. Because down the group with increase in the atomic size, metallic property increases. When we say metallic property increases, that means the ability of the metal to lose electron and to form cation increases. Now, if you compare nitrogen and phosphorus, then you will see that the valence shell enters into third shell, and in third shell d orbital is also there, although it is not filled. As a result, the 3s2 electron can get promoted and involving d orbital, sp3d hybrid orbital can be formed. But in nitrogen, this is not possible. As a result, nitrogen shows certain anomalous properties, like it can form ammonia, NH3, it can form NCl3, but it cannot form NCl5. But phosphorus can form PCl3 as well as PCl5. Similarly, the hydrides of group 15 elements are NH3 ammonia, PH3 phosphine, ASH3 arsine, then antimony hydride and bismuth hydride. As you know that ammonia is strong base, so down the group the basic property decreases. That means ammonia will be more basic than that of bismuth. However, the bond dissociation energy of bismuth and hydrogen will be much lesser, as a result of which, if we compare the reducing strength or reducing ability of the hydrides, then bismuth hydride will be a better reducing agent or the best reducing agent among all in the group. Why? Because the bismuth hydrogen bond, bismuth bonded with the hydrogen, this bond dissociation energy is much lesser as compared with the smaller atoms of the group 15 elements bonded with the hydrogen. So two things can be asked to be compared, like the order of basic strength. So it would be that ammonia will be having the highest basic strength and bismuth hydride will be having the least, and the hydrides of other elements in between will follow the decreasing order of basic strength and increasing order of reducing strength. As it is written here, that down the group, that means considerable increase in covalent radius from nitrogen to phosphorus, but small increase from arsenic to bismuth. From arsenic to bismuth, you will find that the extent of increase in the atomic radius is not that much, as much is in the increase in the atomic radius in the other elements above it. Like if you see the difference between the atomic radius of nitrogen and phosphorus, it will be too high or more than that of compared to the difference in the increase in the atomic radius from arsenic to bismuth. This is because when the electrons are entering into 4d and 4f orbital, then the screening effect of the electrons filled in the f orbital is much lesser than the screening effect of the d orbital in the elements above it. Due to this screening effect, or due to this poor screening effect of the f orbital, which starts from the period or in the period antimony, arsenic and bismuth, the poor screening effect leads to pulling of outermost orbital towards the nucleus with more effect. As a result, the covalent radius of nitrogen to phosphorus increases, but the same increase will be there, but the extent of increase will be much lesser in case of arsenic to bismuth. The reason given here is due to completely filled d orbital and f orbital in heavier members, and f orbital has poor screening effect. The ionization energy of group 15 elements is much greater than that of group 14 elements in corresponding period. As we go from left to right in the period, atomic radius decreases, and with decrease in the atomic radius, it becomes difficult for the outermost electron to be pulled out, as a result of which, if you compare elements of group 15 and 14, the elements of group 15 will have more ionization energy as compared to that of group 14 elements. Furthermore, if you see the configuration of nitrogen, phosphorus, arsenic and bismuth, you will find that the valence electrons are in the form 2p3, 3p3, 4p3, 5p3, 6p3, and p3 is half filled configuration, which is very much stable, and previous to that 2s2, 3s2, 4s2, 5s2, 6s2 is also very stable, being fulfilled. So taking out of this half filled and full filled electron is very difficult from a system in which if electron is taken out, it becomes half filled, or if electron are added, it becomes fulfilled. So due to this half filled p orbitals, the electrons in the orbits are much stable, and hence their ionization energy is much higher than that of the elements in group 14. Nitrogen in the group 15 is a gas. It exists as N2 gas, but rest of the elements are polyatomic, like P4 and polymer of P4. Nitrogen is a gas and all other are solid. As we know that down the group metallic character increases, the same is true for group 15 element also. Except nitrogen, all other elements show allotropy. That means they exist in more than one naturally occurring forms. Like P4 is white phosphorus, then it can have red phosphorus, and then it can have black phosphorus, so on. The melting point also increases from arsenic up to arsenic. Due to the increase of unpaired electrons and increase in the interatomic force of attraction. As we know that the first element of every group shows certain different properties from rest of the group of elements or rest of the elements in the group, this type of property is called as anomalous property. Nitrogen has exceptionally small size. It has exceptionally small size and high electronegativity. Hence, it has high ionization enthalpy and non-availability of d orbitals. As a result of which, nitrogen being small atom, the two atoms can come close to each other and their p orbital can undergo lateral overlapping, sidewise overlapping or lateral overlapping and can form p-pi covalent bond. The first formed bond will always be sigma and the two other bonds formed by py and pz will be p-pi double bonding, and hence there will be two p-pi bondings and one sigma bonding. So between two nitrogen atoms there are three bonds. Sometimes we are asked questions like to write down the laboratory preparation of nitrogen. So to prepare nitrogen in laboratory, we use whatever nitrogen containing elements are there in the lab. So very easily available nitrogen containing element in the compound in the lab is ammonium chloride and sodium nitrite. When ammonium chloride and sodium nitrite are mixed in aqueous state, the nitrogen gas comes out, sodium chloride and water is formed. Another way is thermal decomposition of ammonium dichromate, in which Cr2O3 is formed and nitrogen gas is formed and water is formed. Also, the same can be done by decomposition of sodium azide. Sodium azide is nothing but Na3, wherein Na exists as Na plus and N3 exists as N minus. So when it is thermally decomposed, then it forms nitrogen gas. Some properties of dinitrogen is that it is colorless, odorless, tasteless, non-toxic, and hence it is used for many purposes like mixing it with other gases to control its partial pressure. It has low molecular mass, low intermolecular forces of attraction, and hence they are gases. There are two stable isotopes of nitrogen, and nitrogen has low stability in water, low freezing point and boiling point too. The bond energy between the nitrogen and nitrogen atom is so high that it acts as an inert gas, and nitrogen can form nitrogen atom only when thunderstorm falls on it. And in presence of oxygen and thunderstorm, it forms various oxides of nitrogen like NO, N2O, NO2, N2O3, N2O4 and N2O5. These nitrites and nitrates, they get dissolved in water or they react with the mineral dissolved in the water and forms nitrate salts, which can be absorbed by the plants in the form of nitrogenous nutrients, and then the plants give us protein and animals consume those protein and gives out nitrogenous wastes in the form of dung or stool or urine, on which microbes work and breaks nitrogenous wastes into nitrogen gas back again. This process is called as nitrogen cycle. Some chemical properties of nitrogen is that it reacts with metal to form nitrides, it reacts with hydrogen to form hydrides, and now preparation of ammonia. Ammonia in industry is prepared by reacting hydrogen and nitrogen in gaseous state under high pressure and low temperature to form ammonia gas, which is liquefied further. As you can see, the delta H of formation is minus 92.4 kilojoule per mole. That means it is exothermic process. And if you want to increase the yield, then you have to take out the heat which is produced. You have to sink the heat. More the product side heat is sinked out, more production will be there according to Le Chatelier's principle. Further, calcium oxide and ammonium chloride. Instead of calcium oxide, we could have taken sodium hydroxide also. Any hydroxide and ammonium chloride will give calcium chloride, water, and ammonia gas will come out. So ammonia gas is a urine-like smelling gas. It smells like urine because our urine also contains nitrogenous wastes. It has considerably good hydrogen bonding between the hydrogen atom of one molecule and hydrogen atom of the other molecule. That means interatomic hydrogen bonding is quite strong. Intermolecular hydrogen bonding is quite strong. As a result, ammonia can also exist as liquid ammonia. But when it acquires heat from surrounding, it tries to convert itself into gas. Ammonia dissolved in water forms ammonium hydroxide, which can come in contact with HCl to form white fumes in the form of ammonium chloride. Some properties of ammonia is that, as it was said, that when ammonia dissolves in water, it forms ammonium hydroxide. Further, ammonium hydroxide can break into ammonia ion and hydroxide ion. What if we treat any of the metallic salts of D block elements with ammonium hydroxide? With small drops of ammonium hydroxide, the salt of D block elements will convert itself into its corresponding hydroxide. Like aluminum chloride will become aluminum hydroxide, zinc chloride will become zinc hydroxide, FeCl3, that means iron or ferric chloride, will become ferric hydroxide, and each of these hydroxides have different colors. Like zinc hydroxide or aluminum hydroxide has gelatinous white precipitate, whereas FeOH whole thrice has brown white precipitate. Ammonia is used as a raw material for producing various nitrogenous fertilizers in the industries. It is also used in the medicine industry and as refrigerant too. As said earlier, the various types of nitrogen oxide are nitrogen oxide, N2O, are also called as nitrous oxide because its oxidation state is +1. Nitrogen's oxygen state is +1. Nitric oxide or nitrogen monoxide, that means oxidation state of nitrogen is +2. N2O3, nitrogen trioxide, NO2, nitrogen dioxide, N2O4, nitrogen tetroxide, and N2O5, nitrogen pentoxide. So the structure of these can be understood by practicing and drawing them once as given in this mind map containing precipitate. In our next class, we will be studying in detail about nitric acid, how it is prepared and its properties. Thank you.